What Trump's Liberation Day could mean for U.S. global markets and economy. Explained the Liberation Day on April 2 would not only shake up global markets, but would affect Americans, who are struggling with high cost of living. Many of U.S. allies think tariffs would be destructive for global economy. Donald Trump's reciprocal tariffs to be effective from April 2 promise to recreate the golden age of American wealth and independence by targeting countries that have persistent trade gaps with the U.S. The Liberation Day, as described by Trump, would not only shake up global markets and economies, but could end up affecting every American, raising prices of several household commodities when family budgets are already strained. Trump's trade policies have already wiped trillions of dollars of stock markets and worsened fear of recession. Moreover, he has alienated his allies with his foreign policies. Nan Trump believes that imposing tariffs on imports would force firms to relocate manufacturing and supply chains to the U.S., which would create jobs and revive regions that have been left out of the mainstream. But the drawback is that the tariffs will spike prices of commodities, the cost of which will be borne by the American customers. And it is quite anticipatory that the firms will bring back production in U.S. states, as the reorientation would require years and can outlast Trump's tenure. It seems that the U.S. president is oblivious of the potential impact of industry tariffs, including the automobiles. I couldn't care less if they raise prices, because people are going to start buying American-made cars, Trump said in a telephone interview. I couldn't care less, because if the prices on foreign cars go up, they're going to buy American cars. Moreover, Trump refuses to accept that tariffs cause higher prices because importers will pass the costs of extra duties on to consumers. This concerns American voters who have not had much relief from hikes since the pandemic. Although inflation may have ebbed, but the cost of living has not returned to where it was 5 years ago, as per a report by CNN. Nan Trump plans to tax imported pharmaceutical drugs, copper, and lumber. He has put forth a 25% tariff on any country that imports oil from Venezuela, even though the U.S. also does so. Imports from China are being charged an additional 20% tax because of its role in fentanyl production. Trump has imposed separate tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico for the stated reason of stopping drug smuggling and illegal immigration. Trump also expanded his 2018 steel and aluminum tariffs on 25% of all imports. He also announced 25% auto tariffs last week, and alleged that the U.S. has been ripped off because it imports more goods than it exports. This is the beginning of Liberation Day in America, Trump said. We're going to charge countries for doing business in our country and taking our jobs, taking our wealth, taking a lot of things that they've been taking over the years. They've taken so much out of our country, friend and foe. And, frankly, friend has been oftentimes much worse than foe. Nan economist Art Laffer estimates that auto tariffs could increase per vehicle costs by $4,711. Goldman Sachs estimates the economy will grow this quarter at an annual rate of just 0.6, down from a rate of 2.4 at the end of last year. Mayor Andrew Ginther of Columbus, Ohio, told the Associated Press that tariffs could increase the median cost of a home by $21,000, making affordability more of an obstacle because building materials would cost more. White House trade advisor Peter Navarro told Fox News Sunday that the auto tariffs would raise $100 billion annually and the other tariffs would bring in about $600 million per year, or about $6 trillion over 10 years. In terms of the share in the economy, that would be the largest tax increase since World War II, according to Jessica Riedel, a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute, a conservative think tank. Nan and many foreign leaders think Trump's tariffs are destructive for the global economy. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney said Trump's tariff threats had ended the partnership between his country and the U.S., even as the president on Friday talked about his phone call with Carney in relatively positive terms. Canada has also imposed 2 sets of retaliatory tariffs. The first included 25% tariffs on U.S. meats, dairy, vegetables, oilseeds, beverages, lumber, furniture, and toys. The second, against Section 232 steel and aluminum tariffs, included 25% retaliatory tariffs on those metals along with computers, sports equipment, and other products. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has avoided the tit-for-tat responses on tariffs, but she sees it as critical to defend jobs in her country. Automobiles that fall under the imports protected in the Canada-United States-Mexico agreement, a trade deal orchestrated by Trump in his first term, will not be subject to the full tariff rate. Instead, the U.S. will only levy tariffs on the foreign parts that make up vehicles imported from Canada and Mexico. A spokesperson for the European Commission stressed it was too early to detail the European Union's response to actions still not implemented by the U.S. But the spokesperson said, I can assure you that it will be timely, that it will be robust, that it will be well calibrated, and that it will achieve the intended impact. French President Emmanuel Macron said the tariffs were not coherent and would mean breaking value chains, creating inflation in the short term and destroying jobs. It's not good for the American economy, nor for the European, Canadian, or Mexican economies. Yet Macron said his nation would defend itself with the goal of dismantling the tariffs. Nan ahead of the reciprocal tariffs, the U.S. benchmark Dow Jones Industrial Average slumped 715.80 points, or 1.69, to close at 41,583.90 on Friday. SP 500 index stood at 5,580.94, down 112.37 points or 1.97. Nomura noted that Trump tariffs would mean different things for different countries. If India's tariff on imports from the US is 9.5, and US's tariff on imports from India is 3, then the reciprocal tariff would be 6.5. We apply this narrow interpretation to our analysis, and see that India, Thailand, and Brazil are among the 5 most exposed, Nomura said. VK Vijayakumar, chief investment strategist, Geojit Investments, told Business Today that the trend in FPI foreign portfolio index flows will depend mainly on Trump's reciprocal tariffs. If the tariffs are not severe, the rally may continue, he said. Due to the FPI buying in the second half, FPI outflows to India reduced to Rs 3,973 crore in March against Rs 34,574 crore in February and Rs 78,027 crore in January. NAN and the US will release of a series of reports on April 1. The America First Trade Policy Executive Order requested a wide range of assessments from across government agencies, such as tracking existing legal avenues to address unfair trade practices, currency manipulation, export controls, losses from counterfeit and illicit trade, adjustment of imports that threaten the national security of the U.S., among others. Reports are meant to deliver more details on the Trump administration's plans for foreign partners, including necessary adjustments to the USMCA. Other free trade agreements, the World Trade Organization's government procurement agreement, and a review of whether U.S. companies or citizens are experiencing extraterritorial or discriminatory taxes, as per Hinrich Foundation and Asia-based research and philanthropic foundation. NAN